Yo, what is going on YouTube? It's your boy Dan, aka aDrive, bringing you guys a video today about Pokemon Sword and Shield and unused types in the Pokemon universe. Now, there's a handful of types of Pokemon that we've never seen before, and with the brand new games Pokemon Sword and Shield coming out on the Nintendo Switch this year, it's very likely that some of these boxes will be checked off and we'll get some brand new Pokemon with brand new types that we haven't seen before, and that is incredibly exciting. I want to mention back in Sun and Moon when Gen 7 came out, there was a handful of types that didn't exist previously that happened for the very first time, and it made for some really cool Pokemon. Off the top of my head, I think of things like Nihilego, which is rock and poison. I think of Mimikyu being ghost and fairy, and there's many more Pokemon that previously the type did not exist in a Pokemon, and then now it does. So, and Alolan forms actually covered that quite well as well. Handful of Alolan forms kind of covered some new types, so I think that there's a very good chance, whether we get Galarian forms or not, that we're gonna get some new types that we've never seen before, and that to me is really exciting. Be sure to hit that like button down below if you guys enjoy this video, subscribe if you guys are new for daily Pokemon content, and let me know in the comments what Pokemon type do you want to see the most. I'm gonna talk about my #1 request in this video, and we'll talk about a couple examples of some cool different designs and stuff that might indicate what that type could be. So, you have all the different types here. We have normal ice, normal rock, normal poison, normal ghost, normal bug, and normal steel. It's very rare that we see normal actually paired up with other typings. We do have like normal fighting and stuff, but normal is kind of weird in the sense that a lot of times like it's not surprising that a lot of these types don't exist. We have some really cool fire ones like fire grass, fire ice, and fire fairy. I think the Game of Thrones in me wants a fire ice type really badly. Fire fairy I think has a lot of potential, and of course fire grass. We gotta talk about the jalapeno pepper that everyone thought was gonna happen. Mega Sunflora, we've talked about that. A lot of different options there. Electric fighting could have been Zeraora, electric poison, electric dark. And then we see a couple ice types, ice and poison, ice and bug. Very cool. Fighting and ground, which I'm surprised we haven't seen yet. Fighting and fairy, poison and psychic, poison and steel, poison and fairy, ground fairy, psychic bug, mega butterfree, bug dragon, which we may have gotten leaked already, bug dark, which should have been Drapion, rock ghost, and dark fairy, which should have been mega absol, but we'll talk about those here shortly. So let's actually take a look. I highlighted a handful of ones that I personally feel like are the most likely, or rather the ones that I find the most interesting in terms of the type combinations and kind of what I'm hoping for. And we'll talk about one by one here, but again, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, kind of which typing you want to see the most and maybe what your idea is for it. So looking at fire grass here, the first one, a couple different fan-made designs, and again, all this is in the description below to go support the artist, but you got Ikitiki and Alola Kano. I love it, dude. Nice little tiki torch guy. This would have been perfect for Alola, and I remember when this like fan art came out, I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. And then I had to throw my little jalapeno pepper friend in here because I love me some spicy food, and I don't know if you're fans of hot peppers or you know, any of that stuff, but I really want to see a little pepper, dude. I really do. Like, a fire grass pepper just seems like the perfect idea for a fire grass Pokemon. Like, what better way than to have it, and like, it could shoot out like fire seeds, dude. Like, there's so much possibility there. A little cheesy, but like, we have a set of car keys in Klefki, so anything's really possible when you look at it that way. So you never know, man, but I would love to see that. We're looking at Bug Dragon, which we may have actually gotten some early leaks on, the little peanut-headed lantern fly thing, which apparently kind of took the, well, not apparently, it definitely took us by storm. No idea what's up with that, whether it's legit, whether it's not. Time will tell on that one. If it is fake, then it's the best fake we've ever seen. If you haven't seen it, I have another video where I talk in depth about that a little bit more. And then kind of another design for a Bug Dragon. There's so many ways they can go with Bug Dragon, and it's definitely my most anticipated type and my most hoped for type, because we should have had it with Flygon, we could have had it with Goodra, and they dropped the ball on both of those. Even Haxorus, you could make an argument, could have been Bug Dragon. So, I mean, that's a little bit more of a stretch, but Goodra, it's like basically a snail. You know, Flygon, everyone thinks should have been bug type, pretty much everyone, right? So a lot of possibilities there. I'm really hopeful for this type. Not that competitively it's gonna be anything crazy, but as someone who loves bug type Pokemon, it's my favorite type. I'd really like to see Bug Dragon moving forward. Looking at Dark Fairy, a couple different ideas. I personally think that Mega Absol should have been Dark Fairy, so when I think of different dark types and fairy types that could come together, Mega Absol obviously stands out to me, but there's this like little cherub is the word I'm looking for, little cherub type creature here, kind of a dark angel in a way. I think that could obviously be a really cool approach for kind of like a Dark Cupid kind of deal, to go that Dark Fairy route. There's a lot of things they can do, I feel like, though. They could have a little like doll that ends up kind of being haunted, like almost Mimikyu-esque. I mean, there's a lot of things they could do with Dark Fairy, and that's a typing that I'd be very surprised if we don't see, just because I feel like it's such a cool combination. It's very contrasting, right? And like that's the same thing with like fire and grass, and we're talking about fire and ice, some very contrasting typings that can come together and make for something really cool. I mean, we have water and fire in Volcanion, so anything is really possible. Normal and Ghost, this is like a Schrodinger's cat type of deal, kind of cool. Normal Ghost is a typing that I think would be one of, depending on the Pokemon itself, but one of the best typings in the game in terms of two types coming together. Normal Ghost would only have one weakness to dark types, because you gain an immunity to Ghost type, you gain an immunity to Fighting type, you would just be weak to dark type, which is very cool. Not to mention your ability to hit pretty much everything with normal and ghost type moves super effectively, or at least neutrally, so that's really cool. And it could just be a really sick Pokemon, especially if it was like bulky, because again, it just wouldn't have weaknesses. It would just be weak to dark type, which would be very unique and honestly really cool. I think just the idea of like, I don't know, maybe they do like a Galarian form where it's like a normal type Pokemon like died or something and becomes ghost type. I have no idea, you know what I mean? Like anything is really possible with that. Fire and ice, you know, like I said, the Game of Thrones in me really wants to see fire and ice, and I feel like this region really reminds me of the possibilities of that. There's like a big ice kind of area in the top right hand side of the map, so perhaps we will get some cool ice types. That's why I'll talk about bug ice here in a little bit, but this is a couple different designs of hot fire, hail fire, a couple of cool fan designs of, you know, fire and ice kind of coming together. Two different Pokemon, and then ultimately being, you know, fire and ice types. So that could be really cool, and type-wise, like, that would be so sick, but I know that the two are very contrasting. Like, that is probably the biggest contrast in terms of two Pokemon types that we've never seen together, is fire and ice. So that's probably the biggest long shot if I had to guess, but, like, I trust in Pokemon to be creative and be like, hey, we can nail a fire and ice type. I believe. We got Ice and Bug, which this takes me back to the days of the Create a Pokemon project on Smogon. For those who don't know, the Pokemon on the left-hand side is called Cyclant, and it was, I believe, the first ever Create a Pokemon project, and I remember actually being on the Smogon forums way back in the day before I was even making videos about Pokemon, looking at the fan art and the different designs for Cyclant, how it's developed and all this stuff, and very cool Pokemon. Obviously, Bug and Ice is just a really bad defensive typing, but there's a lot of potential there, and I'm really hopeful, because we do have that like snowy region, as I mentioned, that we will get a Bug Ice type. I also included another kind of fan design of a Diamoth, which is kind of cool, and they could really do a lot of different things with Bug and Ice types. I think there's like a little kind of, what is it called? There's a little bear type thing. It's like super microscopic that like can handle everything, like temperatures and stuff. Maybe that's the thing. I'm sure someone will know in the comments, but there's a lot of potential there for Ice and Bug, in my opinion. I really feel like that could be so cool. And aside from its big stealth route weakness, like Ice types are really good in general. It's like one of the best offensive types, so I'd really like to see that paired with Bug. I think that would be really cool. We got Fire and Fairy here. Could this be Scorbunny's final evolution? Could it be a Fire and Fairy type, the first ever Fire and Fairy? There's a lot of rumors and speculation that are kind of pointing towards maybe Scorbunny turns into a Fairy type, maybe it's electric, maybe it's fighting, maybe it's something else, but Fairy is definitely one of the boxes that very likely could be checked there. I'm also going to throw in Mega Rapidash as an option too, because I feel like it has a very Fairy-esque design. You throw some wings on that bad boy, and Mega Rapidash is ready to go to town. But you can really do a couple different things with Fire Fairy, but I'm curious, man, because I do think there is the chance that Scorbunny becomes Fire Fairy when all is said and done, and that would actually be pretty sick. So we'll keep our fingers crossed and keep our eyes and ears open and see what new information comes when it comes to the little Scorbunny, but we'll find out, man. And that's probably, as far as we know, a really solid shot to be Fire and Fairy. Electric Dark, everyone always screams Mega Luxray. Why don't we have a Mega Luxray that's Electric Dark type? It actually has the perfect design to be Dark and Electric type. It blows my mind that it's not already Dark and Electric type. Very unfortunate for Mega Luxray, or Luxray in general. And then this cool little fan design of this little kind of like squid lantern dude. I love this fan design. It's phenomenal, actually. Really cool. Nice little Dark and Electric type. Not like a crazy good type in general, like a decent type, but Dark and Electric could be kind of cool, and definitely, I just want to see Mega Luxray. Like, I'm Team Mega Luxray, man. I'm rooting for it. I know a lot of people have. It's one of those Pokemon that would really benefit from a little bit of a stat buff and honestly like a secondary typing to kind of differentiate itself from all the other slew of electric types in the game. Poison Steel, man. I played, I think it was Insurgents, and there's a couple Poison Steel Pokemon in Insurgents. I think Heatmore might be, or maybe there's another one. There's definitely Poison Steel in Pokemon Insurgents. And this is probably, aside from Fire and Ice, this is probably the most kind of contradicting typings together, because obviously, you know, steel is immune to poison, so having the two together is very interesting. I love this. This is a steel bug that evolves into steel poison. I really don't want to lose. I really don't want the Pokemon to lose bug typing, but I love the design and the idea of this little armored bug poison dude. And then this is kind of like almost a Quillfish inspired Mega Evolution or evolution of steel and poison, kind of caning that poison typing, but also having some steel action to it. Very good typing, massive weakness to ground, obviously, but aside from that, pretty cool typing in general. So I would love to see that. I think that would be really, really cool. Definitely unique getting a poison steel type. So that is all the different typings that we have not seen yet in Pokemon. There's a lot of potential for what is to come for Pokemon Sword and Shield. Let me know in the comment section below, what type do you want to see most out of this list? And obviously there's a handful of types that are only used in legendaries and in mega evolutions like Dragon and Fairy, which we may see kind of added on now. Dragon, Fairy, Mega Altaria, Dragon Electric, and Mega Ampharos. Those typings could be kind of shown new light in a brand new Pokemon as opposed to a Mega Evolution. So that would be also really cool. But I just hope that they really take kind of the bull by the horn and just decide to innovate a little bit with some of these new types. And let me know your thoughts, man. Hit that comment section below. Hit that like button down below. And subscribe if you guys are new for daily Pokemon content. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Dan. I also go by aDrive, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.